برایت هاوس نامی مسمى در عرصه تکنولوژی معلوماتی.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we are going to discuss virtualization technology. We will talk about what is virtualization technology, what are the benefits of virtualization technology, and we will also discuss some of the labs. So what are we covering today? These are the topics which we will be covering today. We will start with introduction to virtualization technology, and after that we have a lab that is how to install and configure ESXi hypervisor, and after that we will discuss virtual switches, and then after that I will give you an overview regarding some of the features of this technology, which are the important features of this technology. We will talk about vMotion, we will talk about high availability, we will talk about DRS feature, and also we will discuss some other features like fault tolerance and Vsphere distributed switch. So all these things would be discussed in today's session. The session will be just 1 hour, but if we fail to cover all the topics in 1 hour, we can also extend it if you have no problem for that. So we can extend it like 15 minutes or 30 minutes, because the session is going to be an interactive session. Whenever you have a question in your mind, yep. ریکارډینګ خبره کوي او بالکل دا به تاسو ته برایټ هاوس والا درکې ښه چې کوم دا دوی به تاسو ته ریکارډینګ اویلیبل کی ټیک تا
Okay, thank you.
دی ریکارډینګ already start دی کنه نو they will provide you the recording, no problem. باقی ذهن کې څه question راځي any question in your mind guys, because you all of you are from Afghanistan, so most of the people they understand Pashto, but there are some people unfortunately who doesn't understand Pashto, so for them I am speaking English. So که چا تاسو ته څه کوېسچن راځي ذهن کې چې کوم پښتو سپیکر دی نو هغه پښتو کې خیر کوېسچن کولی شي and I will answer in Pashto. Okay, I will start. Chai internet tiki, if anyone, if your internet is stable and they want to introduce themselves, I want to know about a few of you guys so that I know that who am I delivering this session to. Because I need your background, that what is your background. So I will just ask Mr. Ataullah, is your internet stable? If yes, if you can unmute yourself, that would be good.
Hello, sir. Yes, my internet is stable. I'm Ataullah Niazi, working at AWCC.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I can hear and my internet is stable. Okay.
Yeah. So can you tell us about yourself?
I'm working in AWCC. I'm a system engineer at Afghan Wireless Communication Company.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and interested to participate in this program.
Okay, that's good. So you are a system engineer, so that's good.
Thank you.
Yeah, if you can unmute. Okay, sorry, I had to mute you because
Yes,
there is echo in the background. Yeah, so let me try. So Ataullah is a system engineer and working in an organization over there in Afghanistan. So if you are a system administrator or system engineer, you must be aware of Active Directory domain services, right? You will also be familiar with file server, web server, email server, right? Like Exchange server, SQL server, database. So let's suppose you are working in an organization and you have to deploy these applications. these services. So what are the requirements to run these applications? You need hardware, right? You need server hardware. On top of that, you will install server operating system. Server 2019, Server 2022, Server 2012, 16. Let's suppose we have installed Server 2022. And on top of that, you will install Active Directory Domain Services, right? And then DNS service. So since Ataullah said that he is a system administrator, I will keep asking him question. Mr. Ataullah, is this a good practice that we can also configure email server on the same machine here if you have this scenario, right? So can we install web services?
Yeah.
Yes, we can install it. Yep, very good.
Yes, yes, of course.
Okay. So what have he installed? Okay, can you mute yourself? Sorry, I think there is an echo. Uh, Let me mute you. Sorry for that. Anyone else wants to share his input regarding what I ask? I ask that uh, can we deploy web services here? Can we configure it here with Active Directory Domain Services? Mr. Wahidullah Sohrabi.
Yeah, hello, sir, and
Yes,
nice to meet you all.
thank you.
So just I want to add one thing in here, so we can deploy in here file server on the same machine that is the currently Active Directory. Also, we can deploy, for example, email and whatever else, we can do that. But due to security reasons, we cannot put, for example, email server on the same Active Directory. So you know better that whenever attacks happen, cybersecurity attacks, so it will not be good for us to put email server on the Exchange server the same.
Yeah. So you mean to say that for each application, for each services, we need a separate hardware, right?
Yeah, due to security reasons, also due to high availability, and for example, for better performance, we need to separate everyone. We need to separate them.
Yep. So how many hardware do we need to run this
So
environment?
in here, for example, if we configure file, web, email, and also SQL server, so actually we need four, for example, four servers, physical servers to install in here.
Yep. So we need 4 or 5 different hardwares, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's how you do. Let's suppose your email server is critical, or let's suppose your SQL server is very critical. So also you will configure another hardware as well, just for a backup purpose, or you will create a cluster of SQL server, right? So
Yes.
in that case, you need 6 hardwares.
Yes. Sure.
Yeah. So this way you will need 5 to 6 hardwares, right?
Yes.
So let's suppose what will be the requirement resources of this hardware? What should be the resources? It should be minimum, let's suppose 64 GB of RAM you have. Do you have a server hardware, Mr. Sorry, what's your name?
Wahidullah.
Wahidullah. Do you have a server hardware?
So just I have used servers, for example, HP Proliant G8, so they almost support for 32 GBs. But yes, we have, maybe we can put more RAMs on that. It
Okay.
will be possible.
Okay. Suppose you have an HP hardware and you have, I think someone said that he cannot hear our voice. So let me see who is that. Guys, after 10 minutes, the session will be disconnected. So please join again using the same ID. I think 2 of the people they have joined, but uh, they did not connected their uh, audio. So Mr. Mehrab, if you can ping them, if you can send them message to connect their audio, that would be good. Okay, Awais, you are not able to hear my voice clearly? Anyone else? My voice is clear to you guys?
Yes, it's clear to me.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So let's suppose you have an HP hardware having 64 GB of RAM and having 32 cores of CPU, and let's suppose you have 1 TB of disk in this machine, and let's suppose you have 1 Gbps of network adapter attached to your this machine, and you have installed server 2022, and on top of that you have configured your web services. And what do you think, what would be the average utilization of this server hardware?
Yeah, it may be too high because on the same machine there is currently Active Directory, email, and these kinds of things. So every server they need their own performance, and perhaps they use too much RAM, CPU, and whatever.
Anyone else? Guys, keep interacting with the session. I'm not a radio that I will only speak and you will be listening. So try to interact.
Yes, sir. So, sir, جيران يوصلون مختلف device سبب مدير كويس.
Bilkul. Uh, as you can see here, I have this hardware and I have installed server 2022. Right? Let me show you something. Uh, when you check here, you can see how much RAM I have assigned to this machine. 16 GB of RAM, right? This is the total RAM assigned to this machine. When I right click and go to taskbar, and when I see here, what is the utilization of this machine? Only 1.8 GB. 14.1 GB RAM is still available. So I was reading a research paper, and there they mentioned that uh, according to them, the normal utilization of a data center resources is 15% to 25% utilization. That's the average utilization. So how much RAM is how much RAM do you have in your laptop? What is the total RAM, Mr. Uh,
8 GB.
okay, you have 8 GB RAM, Mr. Habib. Okay, let me check my
Yes.
RAM here. How much RAM I have in my laptop? I have I have also 8 GB RAM, and 3.3 GB RAM is still available. And why I'm utilizing this 5 GB RAM? Because I have opened a lot of applications here. So the normal utilization is not more than 4 GB or something, but still I have 8 GB RAM in my laptop. The reason is sometimes I need 8 GB laptop, 8 GB RAM in my laptop, because I have to run some heavy applications. Same is the case in your data center. So whenever you are planning to deploy your services on a server hardware, definitely you need powerful hardwares. So you will purchase 5 different hardwares with maximum RAM and maximum CPU and maximum storage and good network adapters, so that there should be no issue in performance wise. But when we calculate, or when we do our uh, monitoring, after monitoring our environment, we will get to know that only 15% to 25% resources are utilizing properly. The rest we are just wasting it. But still we cannot take risk, sorry, because after some time during the whole year there is a peak hours. Let's suppose you are working in university and you are there as a system administrator in your university. So during results time and admission time, there are heavy workload on your servers. But in the normal days, there is no such workload on your servers, right? So one other thing is, uh, what if this hardware goes down? My operating system will be stop working and my application will stop working. So this is a traditional architecture. this operating system has dependency on the hardware. So every time you have to take care of this hardware. If something happens to this hardware, everything is gone. So there is a dependency on your hardware. So do you know that after 4 years or 3 years or 5 years, most of the organization they upgrade their servers, just like you purchase an iPhone today and after 2 or 3 years you replace it, right? Because with time you have to upgrade your server hardwares because of the latest softwares and latest operating system and latest applications. So if you have this environment, the traditional environment, this is called traditional environment, physical architecture. There are many challenges here. So the solution is virtualization technology. So in virtualization technology, what we do basically, we use the same hardware. For example, this is my hardware. Let me put it here. Let's suppose this is my hardware, right? So we keep the same hardware, and instead of operating system here, we install something called hypervisor, right? And after that, we create virtual machines on top of this. Sorry, what happened, man? Sorry for that. So on top of the hypervisor, we create virtual machines. What are virtual machines? I will explain it. Maybe some of you are already familiar if you have worked on VMware Workstation. And then we install applications here. So the benefit of virtualization technology is to reduce the IT cost. What we do basically, we use the same hardware, but we can deploy multiple applications at the same time. The one virtual machine is used for SQL Server, the other one is used for email server, the other one is used for web server. And hypervisor job is to share the physical resources of the hardware. So that's the story. So we also isolate applications from each other, because someone mentioned that if we deploy SQL Server here as well, that's not a best practice, because let's suppose you have to install web server, you have to install updates for web servers. So once you install web server updates, maybe it asks you to restart the machine. So when you restart the machine, because of the web server, the SQL server will also stop working. So we do not want this scenario. We do not want our applications to be dependent on each other. We want our application to be isolated. I'm sorry guys, let's connect after 1 minute because the session is going to be disconnected. So welcome back. What we can do, let me put some security here. Okay. So we were talking about virtualization technology. With this technology, we can run multiple applications or operating system on a same hardware, and all the applications or virtual machines will be isolated from each other. We can share the resources of the physical machine. So instead of purchasing 5 hardwares, you can purchase 2 hardwares and you can virtualize them using virtualization technology, and you can run multiple virtual machine on top of that. Since you guys are here, we have a limited time, so I will suggest you one thing. I would there is a website you guys can visit for free. You do not have to pay for it. Let me just show you. Whenever you get time after this session, I would suggest all of you to go there, right? It's called VMware HOL. There is a free trainings available, free labs available. You need to create an ID, VMware account there. You can create free account there, just like you create your Facebook account. Once you come to this page, you can click try our labs, and once you click here, since we are learning the basic things here, so for the beginners I would suggest vSphere. This is the foundation of software defined data center. You can come here. Once you come here, just scroll down, and I would suggest this lab, which is called Virtualization 101. So once you open this lab, let me send you the link of this. Mehrab, if you can also copy this link and share it with the other students. So just share this link with the copy this link in your notepad, because after Zoom session you will not be able to get that link. So you can start the lab here, right? Once you start the lab here, right, you will see table of contents. You can, if you are already familiar with this technology, then you can open the table of contents, and then you can select on which topic you want to do practice or which topic you want to learn. This is a free site, right? You can expand this. You can go by clicking this right toggle, you can button, you can go there and you can see what is virtualization. You will get to know about virtualization. There you can see all the diagrams. You can download it. You can make your notes. You can see here the benefits of virtualization. You can see traditional architecture. Normally we install operating system directly on hardware, but here you can see we have installed something called VMware ESXi. This is a hypervisor. We will discuss that on top of the hardware, and then we create virtual machines, and we are able to run multiple operating system on a single machine. Once you move forward, you can see the benefits of this technology, that how we can share the resources of the physical, how we can run multiple virtual machines. You can do that. When you move forward, you can see other benefits of virtualization technology. Once you move forward, you will see some other things, like let's say you have 3 virtual machines running and one of them got infected. I think someone mentioned that what if we get a cyber attack we receive on this machine, so only this machine will be affected, the other machine will still be running, right? Because every virtual machine is a separate container, is a separate thing, right? Is a separate virtual machine. We can encapsulate all the machines. The folder, I mean the virtual machine can be encapsulated in a single folder, and keep scrolling like this, and you will see all them. So learn these things, understand these, and then there is some labs available here. You can play all the labs. It will guide you how to install the ESXi hypervisor, and everything is available here. So this is a free site. You do not have to pay for it. You can learn this technology yourself as well. And I have also uploaded some of the lectures on my YouTube channel, so Mehrab will forward you that, and you can also get to know about that as well. So any question till now, because we are moving towards our upcoming topic. So if you have any question, I will pause for a while and I will take your questions. Pukhto ki vele shay, English ki vele shay. Ji, any question? Okay, now.
سر جي بخنه سره صرف دا یو ماته کنفیوز ده لکه دا یو ویمیر ده بل ای اکس غچ ده د دوړو کې څه ډیفرنس شته کنه؟
Okay, let me clear it. explain kom darta हाँ. Let's talk about
كمل.
hypervisor. What is hypervisor? As you are showing here, I hypervisor. What is hypervisor? Let's talk about this. So let me make it simple for you guys. Hypervisor is basically an operating system, and it could be an application as well. Type 1 hypervisor operating system, we can call it type 1 hypervisor, and type 2 hypervisor. What is type 1 hypervisor? Type 1 hypervisor can be installed directly on a hardware. We install type 1 hypervisor directly on hardware. What is type 2 hypervisor? Type 2 hypervisor cannot be installed on hardware directly. First we need to install operating system on hardware, right? And on top of the operating system we are going to install hypervisor. Example of type 2 hypervisor is VMware Workstation, VMware Fusion, Oracle VirtualBox. Example of type 1 hypervisor is VMware ESXi, Microsoft Hyper-V, and Citrix hypervisor, and the old name of Citrix hypervisor is Zen server. So Mr. Habib, I think I answered your question.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
VMware is the name of the company. VMware Workstation is a product name. VMware Fusion is also a product name, and VMware ESXi is also a product name. So in this session we are going to discuss VMware ESXi, that how you will install VMware ESXi on hardware, right? And then how we can create virtual machines here, just like you create virtual machine on your VMware Workstation. So what is the difference between these two? Can someone tell me? What is the use cases of these two? What are the applications of these two? Can someone tell me?
Hello.
Yes, please.
Good evening, sir. Good evening.
Yes, I can hear you. Hey, Gilbert.
Okay, sir. So I think, on my opinion, no, they are both. They are a hypervision, but the difference is I think the company name. This is a Microsoft, and that you VMware workstation.
Mm-hmm.
That I think for virtualization is more on, I think, number one is the VMware,
Mm-hmm.
than most powerful than the Microsoft Hypervision. That's all, sir.
Okay, thank you. So Mike.
Yeah, Mr. Koshtov,
Mm-hmm.
I want to add something in here also.
Yep.
So as I see the difference between VMware Workstation, Fusion, also the difference between these two things are, VMware Workstation, VMware Fusion, they are a personal thing that we can do a practice, not in a production environment.
Yep.
But the VMware ESXi, also Microsoft Hyper-V, these are all for production. It means for a real world that
Awesome.
we can do that. I think this is the best thing.
Yes, awesome. Thank you. And one more thing, there is a limitation in VMware Workstation. We do not have vMotion feature, we do not have high availability feature, we do not have DRS feature, we do not have vSphere distributed switch here. right? So all these features are required in production environment. So let's suppose if I ask you to create, let me mute you guys. Okay. So for example, you need to create a virtual machine, right? You need a virtual machine with uh, 320 GB of RAM. And if you have VMware Workstation installed, let me just show you here. I have VMware Workstation also installed in my laptop. So let me just give you an overview. So I'm going to create a virtual machine here. When I click next, I can see how much RAM I can assign to a single virtual machine. I can assign only 128 GB of RAM.
برایت هاوس نامی مسما در عرصه تکنولوژی معلوماتی